Good evening, everybody. Oh, forgot my mic. That's important. Good evening, everybody. Kamara Yellis here. You're welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. Today is Wednesday, so we are doing Wealthy Wednesdays. Every week we do Wealthy Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on the dot. Today I am on time and I'm ready to go, locked and loaded. If anybody has any questions for me, as we always do, just throw them in the comment section and I will be sure to answer them. While we're waiting, I will go ahead and share this out to my page and a couple other places so we can get some other people to join in. Right now, I am broadcasting live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, all at the same time. So, Aaliyah Smiles, how you doing? Be Squeaky Clean, how you doing? Thank you, everybody, for joining in. How's everybody doing? I mean, this last week has been chaotic, crazy, nonsensical. Hopefully y'all are in any areas that are in trouble or that have been attacked, basically. So I hope everybody's doing all right. Just waiting for a few people to file in. And as we do that, I am going to share this out. I'm still trying to do that. So what does everybody want to talk about this week? Floor is open. I definitely want to go through some news reports, and of course answer questions. So let her rip. Be Squeaky Clean, are you in Philly? Mellow Lady Yo, how you doing? Welcome. Listen, I just messed up my whole intro, but that's all right. Y'all hear with me every week. But listen, again, it's the Finance Rebel Show. The Finance Rebel Show is all about increasing your financial IQ. So if you know anybody that needs help understanding financial concepts, understanding financial strategies, or just has a plain old question about what's going on in the world of money, bring them on over here. Share this out with them. Don Johnson, how are you, sir? Don, you rock with me almost every week. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody that rocks with me almost every week. Oh, you just picked up some more 4 stocks. Did you see what I picked up today? Man, Wise Guy KO. So Wise Guy KO asks, investing in bonds versus stocks in this market. Give me 2 seconds and I will answer that question. Give me 2 seconds. Do me a favor, if anybody's watching, do me a favor, share this out with everybody else, because Melody, I didn't get a chance to share. I just brought some today as well. I actually meant to buy some around 520, 525-ish. I thought it might go down, so I was trying to wait. It didn't. And so I bought some today at $6.20. $6.20. So I only brought about 10 shares. I'm about 50% to my goal. If y'all don't know, my goal right now is I want 100 shares in Ford. So I'm just biting away at it little by little. Like I tell y'all all the time, you don't need $1 million or $1 billion to invest in a stock market. You need $1. That's it. One whole stinking dollar. Now, what you invest that dollar in, that's going to make a difference on how well your returns do. But at the end of the day, a lot of us just go ahead and waste that money buying from Amazon, buying some shoes, buying some stuff from Starbucks. So I say buy what you use, what you love anyway. At least become a part of the ownership cycle. Fresh to Death Painting. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. That's actually a dope thing. I gotta check out some of your stuff. Don Johnson's good, no complaints. All right, Don. I know, Don, what are you watching now? Like, what's on your radar? I know everybody's been inundated with what that guy in the White House has said and done, what the people out in Minnesota have been doing, what the people in Philly and New York and LA have been doing. The Drive 83, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Again, it's just been a crazy week, but the stock market's still up. A lot of people are confused about why the stock market is still up. A lot of people think the stock market has lost its mind. But at the end of the day, you got to remember that the stock market is just reflecting what investors think is going to happen in the future. So investors are thinking that companies are going to continue to be profitable, even though we're dealing with all this COVID-19 issues and everything else. But all right, so real quick, I've been excited. I've been getting some new toys, so I figured I would do it while I'm waiting on everybody to roll on in. Trying to make the broadcast experience a little better for everybody. All right, so I lost my batteries to my camera. Got my camera right here. But what I'm going to be able to do very soon is, I think this is it, y'all. What I'm going to be able to do very soon, I wanted to do it today, but instead of using my video, or excuse me, my webcam, I'll be able to be broadcast live through my camera. So it should be a much better experience. So I have this power adapter that will keep my camera powered up while I'm recording with you all. I just got that stuff today. And y'all know I own a couple bucks at Amazon, right? So y'all see I'm ordering from Amazon. So I am doing my best to put my money where my mouth is. Stacy Shea, how are you? Thank you for joining us. How you been? So let's see. Carol Allen's in the house. How you doing, Miss Carol? Oh, you're in Alabama. Okay. How you doing down there? Everything good? Shirley Davis, how you doing, sir? Thank you for joining me again, as you do every week, or joining us again, as you do every week. Appreciate you. My man Larry's in the house. The tax master himself, Larry Turner. How you doing, Larry? All right, well, I showed y'all my new trinkets, my new toys. I'm very much a big kid, if y'all didn't know that. Rachelle Donald, how are you? Rachelle, I think you're new around these parts. From North Carolina, North Kakalaki. Thank you for joining us. Super hot in here in North Carolina as well. Okay, I like that. Well, welcome. Again, welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. Today is Wealthy Wednesday, so today I answer your questions about money live, right here, live and direct. So again, if you have any questions about money, throw them in the comments or the chat, and we'll get busy. Nah, Larry, you can't. You don't need to keep up with me. I'm trying to keep up with you, sir. Oh, man. Elena jumps in with a hot topic, term life insurance. And it's funny, I've been thinking about life insurance and doing some more pieces, doing some more content around life insurance. Cavi 333, how are you? But what are the benefits of term life insurance? Well, let's start from the beginning. What is the benefit of having life insurance after all? First of all, right? Life insurance is to replace income. So God forbid a loved one passes away unexpectedly and they make money and they help contribute to the household. They help pay the lights, help put bacon and eggs on the table, and they're no longer here with us. Again, rest in peace. My thoughts are kind of all over the place, y'all, just being honest with you with everything that's going on. You need something to replace that. And I didn't want to do it, but I can't but help think about George Floyd. It's so sad. Rest in peace to him. I was trying not to talk about it, but it's so stupid. But it's a perfect example of how insurance can help at the time of a loss of a loved one, especially with parents who have young children, when their children need that money. Now, George Floyd's daughter is fortunate that she has Steven Jackson and a host of other people. But, a lot of other people don't have that type of support system, sadly. Some people don't have anybody. Hi, Cindy. How you doing? Prez J2, how are you? So life insurance, first and foremost, is to replace income if someone were to pass. And you can buy life insurance penny on the dollars. So if you want, let's say you make $50,000. So $50,000 is about the average income of your average American. It's a little more, about $53,000. And let's say you wanted to make sure that your child, your daughter, your son had enough money coming in to maintain their lifestyle, that, after losing a parent or a loved one, that they're still able, again, not to struggle. You can buy $1 million worth of coverage or $500,000 worth of coverage, whatever you can afford. I tell parents with young children, I strongly suggest that they get $1 million in coverage. It's relatively cheap, especially when you're young. Again, so the benefit of term life is it's cheap. It's the cheapest form of life insurance. It's usually the one that a lot of people let lapse. But I tell people all the time, get the level of life insurance that you can afford. You have about 4 different kinds of life insurance. You have term, which is the cheapest. You have whole life, which is the most expensive. And then you kind of have 2 in the middle, right? You have variable universal life and you have universal life. And so any mix of those can be good. It just depends on your situation. But if you have nothing and you don't know where to start, I would say get some term. Make sure that you can convert that term insurance to a permanent policy later on when you can afford it, and then go from there. Now, people always like to ask, well, how much life insurance should I get, right? And like I said, $50,000 is the average salary. So I would multiply that by 10, usually use a multiple of 10, and that's then $500,000. Y'all just heard me. I said, for people with young parents, I suggest getting $1 million. Right, but if you make $50,000, you multiply that times 10, and so you could average and say you need about $500,000 of life insurance. Now, there's other ways of going about it. That's probably the simplest way. All right, I would suggest you all contact a life insurance agent. If you need help finding one, just reach out to me. I have some contacts with some people who I trust, and I can help you out going that way. Hopefully that answered your question, Elena. By the way, Elena, I need some sea moss. Help a brother out. Elena is my sea moss plug. I've been thinking about trying to make it on my own too, but in that regard, I'm a little lazy. I saw a couple questions on IG. Let's see. All right, so investing in bonds versus stocks. So that's always a good one. All right. Elena, I know you ship. I've been lazy. I need to Cash App you some money. I might be one of your customers. You just need to beat on every now and again. Lean on me. I need it. I got to stay healthy. We fighting a lot of things. They say we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but of principalities. So those things are indeed important to keep your immune system up. And everybody talking, well, nobody's talking about COVID-19 right now, but nobody is talking about keeping your immune system up. Everybody's talking about vaccinations and so on and so forth. But all right, so Wise Guy KO as investing in bonds versus stock in this market. So that's a hard question to answer, Wise Guy KO. I don't know your situation. I'll give you I can kind of give you a general overview though. So bonds right now, basically everybody kind of judges the bond market by what's going on with the 10-year. You're probably hearing a lot of people talk about the 10-year bond. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Let's see what it is. The 10-year is paying like 0.75%, maybe lower. Let's see. So it's not paying that much. And what happens with bonds, right? When their interest rates increase, their price tends to go down. So it really depends on your time frame and what you're trying to do. Um, I like stocks. Stocks tend to do better over the long haul. Stocks tend to beat inflation, even though I don't think we're going to have any inflation problems. I know everybody is screaming, oh, the Fed's pumping money into the system. We're going to have massive inflation. We're going to have crazy inflation. Guess what? It said that in 2008 as well, 2009. Where's the inflation? I'm still trying to find the inflation. I don't see the inflation. But that's what people say. But you know what they say about people and opinions. Gotta watch out for them. All right. So 10-year. 10-year right now is 0.748%, roughly 0.75%, or 0.75%. And that's what everybody, your banking industries and credit cards, everybody kind of keys off of that rate to a certain degree. So yeah, it's super low. Mortgages key off that rate. And when I say key, it's not the same, obviously, right? But when money gets cheaper, typically rates get cheaper, whether it be interest rates in the bank or mortgage rates. Like I know mortgage rates are pretty low right now as well. Again, I personally would like stocks in this environment. You probably can get a great company, a great paying company, paying a great dividend that can beat the 10-year treasury. Now, there's other kinds of bonds, right? Because you asked very specific. There's mortgage-backed securities. There's corporates. Corporates are bonds that are in from major corporations like a GE or a bank or some other kind of industrial or any kind of company. There's lots of companies that have bonds, right? You also could look at what they call high yield bonds. So high yield bonds are just like people who have quote unquote bad credit. These are the characters that are out there that don't have the best credit profile, but they still need money to fund their operations. And a lot of public companies utilize this capital, this access that they have. Hopefully I answered your question. Let me know if I didn't. I don't mind expounding on it at all. All right, so Cavi333 says, how do you feel about electric car stocks? How do I feel about electric car stocks? Well, there's really only like one electric car stock that matters, right? And you probably heard me talk about them before. And, I'm not really a big fan of this company with the guy by the name of Elon Musk. Right, but Tesla is about it. Ford has some electric cars as well. So does GE and a few others. But Tesla is kind of the big dog in that space. So I'm pulling up the chart now. Matter of fact, let me share this chart with my YouTube and Facebook folks. Listen, as soon as I'm able to do that on Instagram, I will be more than happy to share my screen over there. But I don't have that capability. I don't even know if it exists. Does anybody know if it exists? So Tesla, $882.96 today. That's what it closed at. It's it keeps on running. It's like an Energizer battery. It just keeps going and going and going and going. But the company's not profitable. And I think I talked about this last week. There's a difference between being right and making money. And so by me not committing to Tesla, I'm not making money. I'm still right about it, but I'm not making money. Nakia Stroman, you're saying you want me to go deeper. Go deeper on what? Stocks versus bonds? give me a specific question. I'll be more than happy to go into it. Be sure to put the questions in the question box too, folks. I think it gives me the cool Q&A. Melanated Alton, what's up, my brother? How are you today? Dr. Tyra, how are you? Dr. Tyra, I need to connect with you. GPAR7, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Kitchen CJ32, how are you? Thanks for joining. DJ Yin Yang, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Tesla was around 350 in March. Tesla was, you said in March. Tesla was, it had a high of 287 in March. Excuse me, 290, yeah, 308 in March. Tesla had a high of 308 in March. I missed it. Okay, deeper on stocks versus bonds. Y'all gotta give me a, oh, so you missed it, Melanated Alton. Okay, so just to recap, everybody be patient with me. I know I talked about it already, so don't get mad at me. But stocks and bonds, matter of fact, let me see something here. 10-year on here. So on my screen right now, I'm showing the 10-year, right? I was saying that the 10-year, usually when everybody talks about, we're talking about bonds, right? So usually when anybody talks about bonds, the 10-year usually dominates that conversation, especially when you're talking to institutional folks. All right, so I was looking at the 10-year and I was saying the 10-year right now is paying the 10-year government treasury bond, right? 10-year government treasury bond. That's what leads the bond market. It's paying out 0.76%, 0.76%, 0.75%. And that's not good. That's actually one of the lowest rates. It might be the lowest rate it's ever been. Yeah, because I'm back to 69. Yeah, I'm back to 69 and it's never been this low. But here's the thing. So everybody that kind of rode the wave down on bonds, just to kind of give you a bond primer, bond 101, when bond interest rates go down, the price usually goes up. What's up, D? Or some Pisces chick? How you been? So again, when bond prices or when bond yields go down, their prices go up, right? So when bond yields go up, their prices go down. So they are inverse to the stock market. I'm gonna pull up the stock market ticker and overlay it here. I'm just gonna pull up SPY. This is an ETF. You know, we talk about ETFs almost every week. And so for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, you can see the line here. And you see like when bonds zig, stock zag. All right, so I don't have a problem with protest, Melanated Alton. What did King say? Protests or riots are the voice or the tool of the unheard. So I don't have a problem with protests and riots. And there's all different kinds of protests. By the way, since we're on the topic, there's a difference between protesters and looters. Just let's be clear about that. And the way mass media is depicting protesters isn't always correct, because there's a lot of agitators out there, a lot of white agitators out there who want to make this look bad in mass media. So keep that in mind as well. I just watched these chicks come, excuse me, I guess chicks is not politically correct. So excuse me. I just watched these young white women walk out of a cheesecake factory after it was looted with a freaking cheesecake. With a cheesecake. And I think it's sad that, and media does a lot of this intentionally, right? And I think it's sad that George Floyd's death is being overshadowed by this. All right, so let's get back to stocks, because listen, I have an opinion about everything. If you ask some of my friends, I think G-Hop was on, I have an opinion about just about everything. If I don't have, and usually I research my opinions, because I don't like just having an opinion based on my feelings. I will usually tell you, like, this is how I feel. I usually research my opinions. Delphine and Diva, how are you? So, I don't like to have uninformed opinions. I think uninformed opinions are a waste of time for the most part. For the most part, not always, but largely, right? Everybody's entitled to their feelings. Don't get me wrong, but geez whiz, can we get some feelings that are based on some information, some factual information? I like to deal with facts, not feelings. But back to bonds versus stocks. You just triggered me there, Alton. All right, so like I said, when stocks zig, bonds zag. All right, so bonds typically are a lot safer than stocks because bonds are loans, right? Loans to the federal government, loans to corporations. When I'm talking about bonds right now, I am not talking about the bonds grandma used to give you, right? The I bonds, the EE bonds, any of those. I'm talking about government issued or corporate issued bonds. They're a lot different, but they give you a level of safety. And so I've talked about asset allocation before, right? And usually I kind of gear all my stuff to beginner investors, people that are just getting in. So I don't talk a whole lot about asset allocation because they don't have anything, right? And asset allocation talks about diversification. We'll talk about diversification another day, unless it becomes a question here tonight. But for this example, bonds versus stocks. Bonds move very slowly. Bonds usually don't keep up with inflation. Bonds, again, can be very safe though. They're not as risky as stocks because they don't bounce around as much. They don't have as much liquidity. But guess what? The bond market is actually way bigger than the stock market. And the reason why we are seeing bond prices go up so high right now is because people have been buying treasuries because they're unsure. Part of the reason why the dollar has been strengthening as well. So again, I like stocks more than I like bonds, but if I'm looking to build a portfolio for a client or for somebody and they don't deal well with the ups and downs of the market, I will put some bonds in there to kind of level it out. So bonds are like this ultimate safety net for a lot of people. So I hope people understand that. Jamar Thompson, how are you, sir? Jamar Thomas, excuse me. Rhonda Cox came in late. You're good. What about muni bonds? Muni bonds are great. Muni bonds have been priced up a bit. I'm going to tell y'all, one of the best ways to get into the bond market is to use ETFs. Rehab and High Hills, how are you? How you been? Uncle Juice, how are you? Miss Edith, thank you for joining us this week. You always here every week, Miss Edith. I appreciate you. Miss Carol, you're here every week too. What's the name of the site you're looking at live charts? Oh, y'all just want all my secrets, all my goodies, right? What's the point of giving y'all my goodies, right? You're going to milk the cow, just lead the cow. Take the milk and lead the cow, right? I'm the cow, obviously. But all right, so Larry Turner asked, what do you know about the TLF Ujima? No, I said that wrong. TLF Ujima. That's a TLF Ujima presentation. It's presented as a lending cooperative, but as soon as I saw branches and leaves, I'm thinking pyramid. I've never heard of it before. But I will say this. Ujima is Swahili. It's part of the Nguvu Saza. I can't think of which principle. It's the principle of Kwanzaa, and it's about cooperative economics. I think cooperative economics is a great thing for the Black community. It's something that should be practiced a lot more often. Now, why y'all laughing at me over there on IG? What I say? What I do? But no, I've never heard of it, Larry. Larry, send me some information on it. I would love to see it. So Rhonda Cox says, good evening. Chili says Tesla's at 860. Yep, just talked about it. Ford is up as well. Ford's Ford was up at 6 something. I bought some Ford today. You know, a little lightness, about 10 shares. Nothing fancy. So let's see. So Ford. Ford closed at 619. Now a lot of people are dogging me about Ford. They're like, why you buying Ford? Ford's a dog. Ford's trash. Hey, listen, just like everybody dating a lady or a woman, somebody thinks they're trash, right? I don't want no trouble, but somebody thinks they trash. Somebody tired of them, right? Before you got them. But I'm looking at Ford as a great long-term play. It pays a pretty good dividend. Dividend is suspended right now. The dividend is suspended right now. But Ford's one of these companies that I don't think is ever going to go away. Melanated Allen, what do we need daily? Tell me what we need daily. So yeah, Ford's up. Ford's actually looking like, and this is the monthly chart, right? So each one of these bars that I have is represents a month's worth of pricing. So Ford is Ford is looking good. Ford is looking good. Do me a favor, if you're just joining, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is the Finance Rebel Show. This is our Wealthy Wednesday segment. The Finance Rebel Show is all about increasing your financial IQ. I'm really big on financial education. For those of you that have been rocking with me for a while, y'all know I hate the term financial literacy because they've used that term to pimp out literacy and education and things like that. So I've been in the financial services industry for over 20 years through accounting, financial advising, and Wall Street institutional management. And so I'd like to come here and talk to you folks and just share some of my experiences, share my opinions on what's going on in the market. I talk a lot about stocks. I talk a lot about tax. I talk a lot about money, anything related to money, I'm down to talk about. So what other questions do we have? Let's see. Are we talking about my goodies? Papaya Nest, how are you? No, Ujima is so UJIMA is Ujima. Ujima is different. Ujima is cooperative economics, I think. Y'all about to have me pull up the Nguzu Saba. And if I don't know my Nguzu Saba, I'm not worthy. I am not worthy. I am right. Ujima, UJIMA is collective work and responsibility Ujima is cooperative economics. Now, I have to know that. Like my folks would kill me if I don't know that. And I honestly, don't ask me about riots and protests. I'm always getting asked about the Black community in some way, shape, or form. So I want to talk about the Nguzu Saba real quick, just real quick, not too long. But people are always talking about what solutions do we have for the community. And so since we brought it up, I want to talk about it real quick. Because I think personally that if the Black community starts to practice the 7 principles of the Nguzu Saba, which is practiced during Kwanzaa, well, we could gain a lot of ground a lot faster, right? So Umoja, which stands for unity, to strive for and maintain unity in family, community, nation, and race. Kuji Chakalia, which is self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves, right? Ujima, right, is collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. Now, that's very much like Umoja, right? It's very much like unity. It's definitely an aspect of unity, all right? So Ujamaa is cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, other businesses, to profit from them together, right? Nia, which is purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Kaumba, creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. Imani, faith, to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. And so Dr. Maulana Karenga created Kwanzaa based off of African principles. It's not a quote unquote African holiday, but it was made by a Pan-African, which is Dr. Maulana Karenga. It's celebrated all around the world by people of African descent. So you can say it's an African holiday or a Black holiday, whatever you choose, right? So, all right. So let's get back to the questions. So I hope y'all didn't mind the sidetrack there. Yes, about 8 ounce said you said the credit card industry came up with yes, credit card industry came up with the term. Yes, I did. Doc Williams, how are you? Thank you for joining us. R&B Property, how are you? I think many folks in our community are practicing Kwanzaa right now and don't even realize it. To a certain degree. Definitely to a certain degree. All right. So let me catch up. Got sidetracked. So Rhonda Cox asked about, I'm sorry, hi Tiffany, but Rhonda Cox asked about municipal bonds. So I was saying some of the best ways to get into bonds, periods, whether they're corporate bonds, U.S. Treasury bonds, even you can buy bonds overseas from governments overseas, is to buy them through an ETF. As a manager there, bonds can be a little bit tricky at times. And so for your average beginner investor, it's not something I would kind of wade into, but you should know about it. Now, what are muni bonds, right? Municipal bonds are bonds that are issued from states and local municipalities, local governments, local townships, local boroughs. They help to pay for things like trash incinerators. They help to pay for things like highways sometimes. They help to pay for things like hospitals, depending upon where you're at. A lot of times these bonds, the income is tax-free. So a lot of rich people like municipal bonds. If you do it right, you can set up your whole portfolio with muni bonds and you don't pay any taxes on it. You need a lot of money to do it. But if you got a lot of money to do it, it's something advantageous to think about. They don't grow that much. And the interest rate that they pay out is usually lower than corporate bonds that are out on the market that are kind of comparable, but they don't pay as much as regular bonds, because regular bonds, you have to pay income tax on the interest. On municipal bonds, typically you don't have to pay income tax on the interest from a municipal bond. Usually, there's no absolutes, but usually. All right. Rachelle Donald says, I would like to add waste management stock. I would like my feelings about this. All right. So listen up. All of these are thoughts and opinions. The thoughts and opinions of the host are not that of management, but I'm management too, right? So I'm going to tell you all that anytime you think about buying an investment, think about this. Past performance is not an indicator of future success. Okay, past performance is not an indicator of future success. And it's funny because my son asked me this today because he's buying some stock and he was thinking about Disney and he was looking at past performance. And I said, no, son, that's not what you want to do, because you could have a company, you could have a stock that's done outstanding. For example, let's look at Apple. Apple is one of the biggest companies in the world. It's either like one or number two. Tomorrow, it could all be over for whatever reason. And then that company starts to tank. So just because it was great last year, 5 years, 10 years ago, doesn't mean it's going to continue to be great. All right. So anytime you're thinking about buying an investment, make sure you talk to your investment and tax advisor. Okay. I don't want anybody saying Kamari told me to buy this stock. All right. Because we know that is not true. I just know why it's not true, because I just told you it's not true. I'm just sharing my opinions. Everything here is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Only. All right. So who asked? Was it Rhonda? Who asked about? No, Rachelle Donald asked about waste management. So I'll tell you about this. So just off top, right? I haven't researched waste management. What I do know about waste management is people will always need their trash taken away, and nobody is knocking down the door to take anybody's trash away. All right. So keep that in mind. So it's going to be something that's always needed. And usually now, before, big cities would kind of keep that in house, and they would have, a sanitation department. Now it's not the same. A lot of times some of these townships and towns said it's more cost effective to outsource. And so they will hire a company like a WM, like a waste management. Waste management, I want to say, is one of the biggest. Whoa, waste management has been running. So waste management closed today at $110.21. Let's see, what did it start the year at? Started the year at $114. So it's down a little bit on all this Corona and COVID business. But guess what? Most of these have long-term contracts in place. So I'm not saying I am endorsing waste management. I am saying that I think you should take a deeper look at waste management. Just as a basic company. Now, I don't know what your time horizon is. One of the most important things to investing is time horizon. Again, one of the most important things to investing is time horizon. Why? Because you need to understand when you might need this money. If you need the money in a month, you are potentially putting yourself in trouble, because the stock could fluctuate in a month, and then you could lose some of your money. So only invest money that you're okay with losing. That's number one. Two, only invest money if you're a beginner and you're just starting, right? Only invest money that you're looking to invest long range, because this is the time to learn and begin. There's a whole bunch of other sexy stuff that people like to get into, but sadly, a lot of times people are not ready for them on multiple levels. All right. Goddess Diamond Millions, how are you? Chef Larry, how you doing? Chef Larry, when can I get a plate? I need a plate. All right, so I am going to pull up the, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the Yahoo Finance page, and we're going to look at waste management. So give me 2 seconds while we're waiting. Again, this is the Finance Rebel Show. This is Wealthy Wednesdays. I'm Kamari Ellis. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., we talk money. We talk stocks. We talk taxes. Melanated Alton, I see you have a question about taxes and stocks. I'll come to that in a minute. I don't know what I just said. Just give me a second. And can everybody see that? Let me take that banner off. That's probably a little bit better. Is that a little bit better for everybody? Hopefully everybody can see that. All right. So listen, one of the better resources out there when you start your stock journey, you're starting to invest, and you want to just look at what's going on, you can just go to finance.yahoo.com. Finance.yahoo.com. Do me a favor, somebody put that in the chat for me or in the comments. All right, so Waste Management. Waste Management is a $46.5 billion company. Matter of fact, let's just call it a $47 billion company. It pays a 2.03% dividend, right? You see that there in the parentheses. It pays $2.18. So for every stock that is outstanding that's owned by somebody, they get $2.18 every year, broken up by quarter. But every year they get $2.18. So that's the dividend. Stock closed today at $110.21. It's a $47 billion company. Now let's look under the hood a little bit. Now, I don't want anybody to be misled. This is not a deep dive. This is not a recommendation. We're just looking around, kicking the tires a little bit. So last year, Waste Management made $15.4 billion with a B, $15.4 billion. They had they had profits they had income, right? So income gross is the aggregate of all the money they build, or the total of all the money they bill their clients and they got back in. The net is what they have after they paid all their bills and paid their taxes. So they had about $1.6 billion in profit and income after they were done. So not bad. That's definitely a capital intensive company, right? You need laborers to get out there and pick up the trash. You can't just pay them minimum wage, right? Because nobody wants to do it. It's not a super high in demand job. All right, now let's look at their balance sheet. Now, y'all know for many of the investments, I like to look at how much cash somebody has. Now, they're not giving me cash. Oh, wait a minute, here we go. There we go. So they've got about $3 billion in cash, and another $2 billion in receivables. That's what they had for the quarter. Not bad. They got a little bit of cash. I would like to see them have more. But again, I would need to do a deeper dive on them to really see if I like them or not. But not bad. Like I said, I think they'll be here for a long time. Total assets, $27 billion, right? Remember we talked about how net worth is kind of the same with companies, right? As assets minus liabilities equals equity. So they got $27 billion in assets. They have $20 billion in liabilities. So they have a gross equity, a total equity of 6.7%. So they're not upside down. I would like to see them have more cash, but in order to do a deep dive. So I would put this on my watch list. I wouldn't be ready to invest in it. I think we've definitely talked about watch lists before and the importance of watch lists. All right. So, let me go back. Where is that question? Let's see. Right. All right. So tell me, hopefully I gave you a little bit of clarity on that, Rachelle Donald. All right. So I want to answer Melanated Alton's question. This is a question over on Instagram. Back to the questions. Does a person pay taxes on stocks annually when they are holding them and not cashing them in? Okay. It's funny. I just had this conversation with a buddy of mine who just started investing. She does no research and she thinks she's a stock genius. Great lady, though. Great personality. She's my buddy. We crack jokes all the time. But I think she's a little, I want to see her tighten up her investment strategy a little bit, but she ain't going to listen to me because he's very hard at it. But anyway, she was talking about a stock that she bought. Stocks run away, meaning that it's made a lot of money. And I said, well, you should sell. And she said, why? I said, because it's not real profit until you sell it. It's not a real loss until you sell it. All right. So you're holding. So out when you're holding these stock positions, you're not paying any taxes on them unless they pay dividends. You'll pay money on the dividends. But there's a but, everybody. It depends on how they're held. What kind of account are they held in? Are they in an IRA? Are they in a 401k? Are they in some kind of SEP or pension plan? It really depends. All right. So right now I am talking about a regular investment account that has no tax advantages. So no, you don't pay any tax holding a stock. You only pay tax potentially if you have a profit after you sell it. And there's a difference in the taxation on when you hold a stock for a year or more versus a year or less. Typically, you pay more taxes on the stock that you're holding for a year or less because the IRS and the government is looking at it like you're trading. You pay a lower level of tax on it when you've held it for a year or more. All right, because they look at it like you're an investor, and the government wants to incentivize investments. Remember, tax code taxes is all about the overall economy and how the government is incentivizing people to use and allocate and spend their money. So for the things that are more, and excuse me, this is usually right. So usually the things that are more beneficial to the economy, typically get the best tax breaks. All right. So no, you do not have to pay taxes when you're just holding a stock outside of if you're getting a dividend. If you're getting a dividend from them, oh man, I'm getting a poor connection on IG. If you're getting a dividend from them, then yes, you have to pay tax on the dividend. Usually. T Brooks 2010, how are you? All right, Chef. You're getting fancy on me over there. We don't. Chef Larry just put it down on me, y'all. He checked me. He G-checked me. He said we don't do plates. Yeah, Chef Larry's food is very, very good. I can vouch for that. He said we make dishes. So basically he's saying don't ghettoify my stuff. We make art. Black Guy Comics. Oh man, that's a dope name. What kind of comics do you like? I was a DC kid. Don't hold it against me. Miss Agility, how are you? Ty Jones 8, how are you? All right, so Melanie Alton asked, Kamari, do all companies do earnings calls? Do you listen to all earnings calls for companies you're invested in? So listen, all publicly traded companies do earnings calls. I encourage everybody to listen to them, but I also encourage, hold on, I need to get in a chair. I also encourage any business owners to listen to earnings calls of companies that are in your industry, because you really, everybody on the internet be talking about free game this and free game that. You really can get some free game listening to an earnings call and also reading the earnings reports. Pay special attention to the MDA section, which is the management discussion and analysis section, because these earnings reports usually are a couple hundred pages long. They go through everything. They go through the risk. They go through the revenue. They detail the financials. They go through everything. Alton, yes, I would highly suggest you listen to all the earnings calls for your companies. You can, and you might not be able to do it all because it's earnings season, right? Earnings season happens roughly 4 times a year, once a quarter. And the companies come out and they announce what's going on with their company. They give guidance, right? So you might see a company that lost a whole bunch of money, right? They lost $1 billion. Tesla comes to mind, right? They keep losing money, but then what's his name? Elon Musk, Rocket Man, right? Because he just launched the rocket. He'll come in and say, listen, Tesla's going to sell 5,000 cars in the next quarter, even though he can't make 5,000 cars, but that's another story for another time. But he'll come on and he'll say that, and the stock can go up or the stock can go down. But listen, IG, I have approximately 1 minute and 35 seconds before my hour is up. Y'all know I'm still a small fish around here, so I only get an hour. There's a question on here. What do you think about Lamar and out? I don't know what that is. Take digital. I'm going to shut down and I'll come back on the other side. Do me a favor, bring that question back so I can answer it. All right. So I'm going to shut down, y'all, and I'll be right back. And while I'm setting up IG, I'm still going to be answering questions with you guys. Y'all know how we do. Jamar Thomas, I think I said hello to you, but hello again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming again this week. You're here every week with me. I'm good, Ms. Edith. Well, I'm a little perturbed. I'm not going to lie. I am definitely, I'm a lot perturbed with everything that's going on in this country. The continued double standards. Sadly, we saw George Floyd murdered. And guess what? Police are still abusing people. And in, at least in my town in Philadelphia, they're showing, in my opinion, from my research, from my observations, they're still showing favoritism to non-Black people over white people. I saw a whole gang of white guys running around with bats in Philadelphia, being antagonistic. Supposedly, they were protecting the police. Go figure. And that's a very nuanced conversation. I think there are a lot of good police out there, but policing as an institution is very racist. I have family and friends that are police, and I don't believe that they do any of the buffoonery that we see that's going on. But as an institution, as a system, it's very racist. And I think one thing that frustrates me is that we need to learn how to have conversation and differentiate between individuals and systems. They're not the same. They're not the same. But, you know, I'm here. I am here. Oh, man. So how are you? How are you, Ms. Richards? What are you up to? You've been paying attention to the stock market? Give me 1 second, folks. Just trying to log in. All right, so Larry Turner, you're going to inbox me the info. Okay, cool. Thank you, sir. Have I heard of a company called Jumia? If so, do you think they're Amazon of Africa down the road? Mr. PDQ, how are you, sir? Mr. PDQ, I've been listening to the podcast. I think you might have something. All right, so let me Google that real quick, Jamar. Never heard of it before. But give me 1 second. Jumia. Is it publicly traded? Okay, from Nigeria. Chef Larry's back. They're making me do a captcha fill out. Oh, come on. All right, I can't. Okay, yeah, they want me to do a captcha. I don't know why. And I can't take my, if I go down that, it would be very distracting. Well, let me see this here. Hey, Take Digital, put that question back in the box for me. Okay, so it's traded on the New York Stock Exchange, it looks like. I've never heard of this company. There are literally thousands of companies out there, so I can't know them all. Chef Larry, did you see the interview I did with Kim Babb? So all right, let me back up, folks. And I'm answering two questions at one time. So matter of fact, Chef Larry, give me 1 second. I'll answer that question. Because we were talking so let's go. So Jumia. So it says Jumia is an online marketplace in Africa for electronics and fashion, among others. The company is also a logistics service, which enables the shipment and delivery of packages from sellers to consumers, and a payment service, which facilitates transactions among participants active in Jumia's platform and selected market. It is partnered with more than 50,000 local African companies and individuals and is a direct competitor to Zawanu, I believe it says, in Senegal and Congo in Nigeria. Okay. So it started in Lagos. The company currently has a presence across more than 10 African countries. This is very interesting. Thank you. This is very interesting. So it trades its ticker symbol JMIA. JMIA. That's not what I pulled up. JMIA, right? All right, so hold on, folks. Let's do a quick switcheroo. I'm kind of excited about this one. I don't know how I missed this. So it's real, y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Jamar. So to me, it's trading at $5.65. It is not a penny stock. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Y'all know I hate penny stocks. I think penny stocks are the spawns of the devil. Oh, okay. Lamar and out. Okay, I got you. Tay. I know I've heard of Lamar. So it's $5.65. It is a 443. The company's worth $443 million. So I'm reading this live, y'all. What do y'all think? Are my reading skills up to par? Am I reading better than Floyd Mayweather? What do y'all think? Am I reading better than Cardi? And I love Cardi, by the way. I think Cardi's awesome. All right, so total revenue, $160 million. All right, so this is a small company, $160 million, relatively, right? Relative to what else is out there in the markets. Last quarter, they did a little under $30 million. And they are not profitable. They are losing. They had a net income of roughly 42 million. Let's see, how much money do they have on the balance sheet? Hey, Cindy, you're back. Welcome back. Welcome back. But they got about, so they got about 200 million on the books, 230 million on the books in cash, 230 million on the books in cash. Not bad. Not bad. This one, I'm writing this down. Anytime I can invest in an African company, it's not bad. So, all right, so let's look at the chart real quick. I know it ain't gonna be pretty just because of the dollar figures, but hey, check it out. Do something for the cause. Keep y'all questions coming. Put them in the chat. Put them in the comment section. So, just what, Cindy? So, Mad Hope, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I don't think you've joined us before. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so it looks like this company just IPO'd last year. In April of, so it looks like they just IPO'd last year in April of 2019. Started out at $53. So they opened at 18.95. They went up to $49, and now they're trading at $5. That's not sexy. Okay, so everybody on Instagram or everybody that just now joining in, the stock I'm looking at is called Jumia Technologies. It's a Nigerian company. It's a marketplace very similar to Amazon, except they're Nigerian, they're Africans, and they sell technologies and other products in the marketplace, an electronic marketplace. Ticker symbol is JMIA. Again, ticker symbol is JMIA. Somebody do me a favor and throw that in the comments or chat. Please, 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 please. You'll be helping me out. So now the stock is currently at, so I'm looking at a monthly chart here, folks. One of the things I do is when I'm looking at stocks, I look at them on different time frames because it presents a different picture. Some people would say this is called technical analysis. It's not really technical analysis, but we'll call it technical analysis for this exercise. All right. I'm just looking at the charts. I'm looking at price action, but technical analysts would say this is technical analysis. I'm looking at price action. So right now it's at $5.65. It bounced back from being almost $1. Shoot, it might have got delisted. I think Hertz is getting delisted too, by the way, because they're following. Thank you, Tay. Appreciate you. Because they're filing bankruptcy. So $5.65 looks like it's a fighter. I would need to dig into this a little bit more. I'm really curious about how many users they have on their platform daily. Would it be easy for someone outside of Africa to buy on their platform? I'm sure that they trade in US dollars since they are on the New York Stock Exchange. So yes, I definitely want to check this out. So Jamar, thank you for that question. Thank you. All right. I know Tay has one, and Tay rocks with me every week. So Tay, I appreciate you. And thank you for putting the question in the little question box, because it makes my IG look a little fancy, right? It's got the little Q&A marker that comes up. So what do I think about Lamar and out? Those are the ticker symbols. Okay. All right, so let's start here. Let's start on Yahoo. All right, so this is the process everybody can follow, right? We're going to start over on Yahoo. Give me 1 second, and I will go to the Yahoo screen. So we're going to start over with Yahoo. Try to get a feel for what they got going on, the company that is. And so Lamar, you had the ticker symbol right before. So the ticker symbol is LAMR, Lamar Advertising Company, LAMR. Somebody do me a favor and throw that in the chat. Currently trading at $70.10. It was up today, $6.49. Excuse me. Wow. I must be tired. Not 600, folks. $6. Not $6 either, folks. Let me try this one more time. 6.49%. Stock was up 6.49%. It increased by $4.27 today. So today it got it popping. It was looking kind of sexy. Still looking kind of sexy. So Lamar is an advertising company. Lamar is a REIT. Now, y'all know I talk about REITs pretty often, right? And y'all do remember that I said there are some REITs out there that are not going to get mollywopped, like some of the other hotels and hospitalities that are owned by REITs. All right, so let's see here. So you go to Yahoo, right? Look at it. I'll come back to it again. Look and see what sector it's in. So we're looking at a real estate play right now, right? A specialty real estate play. They have 3,600 employees. So this isn't any small rinky-dink mom and pop shop. No disrespect to mom and pop shops. All right, so it was founded in 1902. Lamar Advertising, again, ticker symbol LAMR, is one of the biggest outdoor advertising companies in North America with over 390,000 displays across the United States and Canada. Lamar offers advertisers a variety of billboards, interstate logo, transit, and airport advertising formats, helping both local businesses and national brands reach broad audiences every day. In addition to its more traditional out-of-home inventory, Lamar is proud to offer its customers the largest network of digital billboards in the United States with over 3,600. That's very interesting. So, normally you just want to look at, the summary, right? We want to check out the company. Lamar is a $7 billion company. $7 billion company. Again, today it closed up $70.10. It has a dividend, folks. It pays a dividend. $3. Why do I keep saying $3 when I'm talking about percentages? Percentages are not the same. All right. So 3.04%. 3.04%. And it pays $2 to every stockholder that owns the shares. Okay. So for every share, you get $2 spread out quarterly. All right. So they would get roughly 50 cents per share per quarter. So if you got 10 shares, you would get $5 every quarter. All right. And so 10 shares roughly would cost you $70. So you get paid to hold the stock. Now let's look at the other stuff. So last year they made 1.7 billion. 1.7 billion in sales. Are they profitable? I'm imagining they are. So they have a net income of roughly $370 million. And let's look. So, right, when you want to see how much money a company's making, right, how much money they're bringing in, you want to look at the income statement. When you want to see how much money a company has, like on hand. And let me back up, because there's three statements here, right? There are three toggles there. You have the income statement. If anybody's following along, you can see this at the top. You have the income statement, which shows you how much income, right? So it shows you how well they can do to sell their products and or services, right? Then your balance sheet tells you how well a company is managing their finances and basically managing the company. Do they have too much debt? Do they have too little cash? All right. And then the statement, statement of cash flows, tells you how well they're able to finance and invest in their company as well, because that will show you how much money that the company is bringing in, not just from what their sales people and marketing people do, but also what their investment team does as well, and some of their other assets. So this is like everything. But let's see how much money Lamar has. So Lamar has roughly $6 billion in assets, $6.3 billion in assets, and they have a little under $500 million in cash. Not bad at all. Ace Boogie, thanks for joining us. Brother Wayne 215, thanks for joining, bro. You here every week too. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Listen, if y'all want to help some of y'all friends understand the markets, understand money better, be sure to share this broadcast with them. The whole Financial Rebel mission is to help people increase their financial IQ so we can have a better money educated community. All right, so say you wanted to, all right, and so the other one was out, right? So we got Lamar. Then I stopped sharing the screen. I got too fancy, too quick, moving too fast. So bear with me 1 second. Let me know, guys, am I making sense to you all when I'm breaking down this information? I don't just want to sit here and talk for the sake of talking. I'm hoping you all get something out of this. If I spoke too fast or I spoke too low because I have a deep voice, let me know. If I'm using terms that you don't understand, listen, just tell me. Come on, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Slow me down and just say, hey, can you go over that again? Give it to me like a second grader. I'm not offended. Not offended at all. All right, so Outfront Media. So we got Lamar, now we have Outfront Media. Outfront Media is trading at $16.35. $16.35. Jeez, Louise. It jumped 12.99%. Basically, it jumped 13% today, up $1.88. It is a $2.3 billion company, $2.3 billion company that does not pay a dividend. It does not pay a dividend. All right. So let's look at their profile. Remember, we start everything off on finance.yahoo.com. We can go over there and get a sense of the company, check out what they're doing. They've got almost 2,300 employees. They are out of New York. And so the description of the company is Outfront leverages the power of technology, location, and creativity to connect brands with consumers outside of their homes through one of the largest and most diverse sets of billboards, transit, and mobile assets in North America. Through its technology platform, Outfront will fundamentally change the way advertisers engage audiences on the go. Sounds interesting. The next thing I would probably do is I would go to their website and look around a little bit. But in the interest of time, we're just going to cut right to the money. Let's get to the money, baby. So last year they made $1.78 million. Is that more or less than Lamar? Is anybody keeping track? Let me know if you're keeping track. Almost $1.8 billion, and they had a net income of $140 billion. Excuse me, $140 million income. So they're making money. They're making some money. The beautiful thing about the technology, these companies that are technology driven, even though it's in advertising, a lot of this stuff is already built out. The money's already spent. It's not super duper income or capital intensive. So meaning that they can pay for something once, figure out how to sell it over and over and over again. It's kind of like the gyms, right? You get a gym, you get the equipment in the gym, and what do all gyms do? They oversell their memberships because let's say the gym has a capacity of 100 members at one time. Well, they might sell 200 or 300 because they know everybody's not going to come to the gym at the same time. So companies like this can do the same thing. Same thing with your Facebooks and your Instagrams and YouTubes. Like if you look at what was happening with Versus, with IG when they were doing the Versus battles. Anybody watching the Versus battles? Let me know if you're watching the Versus battles at all. Their systems aren't built for everybody to be on there. So IG had, these massive problems when they would have everybody on there at one time. And it caused them a lot of problems with their network. The companies like Lamar and Outfront are very much the same. But, IG is always, Facebook and IG are always factoring that Nobody's going to be on at the same time. But the beauty of hip hop changed that. Showed them how to do it. So, let's see. So, Outfront has $59 million on hand in the bank. That's what they're working with. Now, did anybody remember Lamar versus Outback in terms of cash? How much cash did Lamar have? I didn't write it down. So I think they're interesting. They're both making money. Say they're both making money. So I would definitely put these on the radar. I think advertising inventory is definitely going to go down because we have 40 million people out of business. If you've got a local business that was advertising on these, or a local restaurant that was advertising on these platforms, they're not going to be able to do it. A lot of them are going out of business. A lot of them are having trouble. But I don't think they're all going to go away. But I would keep an eye out on these companies. Hopefully that answered your question. But let me know if you have something else specific to talk about. My man, Mr. Miles, Darren Miles Weekly Podcast. REITs are having their own special hairs time right now. Yeah, some of them. How you doing, Mimi Bass? Ace Boogie 4, how you doing? Tay, yes, making sense. Okay. All right. Listen, I don't want to just talk here and just talk to y'all or talk at y'all, right? I want to talk with y'all. I want to have a conversation. Miss Edith, it was Lamar and Outfront. Ashley Simone, how you doing? Ace, we just every Wednesday I do Wealthy Wednesdays where I just take questions and answers. You can ask me a question, or anybody can ask me a question about anything money related. Shoot, we just talked about protesting. Somebody asked me a protesting question. I answered that too. Nina Smith, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all joining me. So, what we got next? Okay, so Larry Turner says all the big three will get a boost as we get on the other side of this. Who are the other three? I moved on to something else. Sorry about that. All right, Rhonda Cox as CSX. So, all right, tell me what we're going to do next, folks. First move. CSX. So let's go to Yahoo. I can't hit that note. Sorry. Oh, Yahoo commercials. CSX trading at $74.67. What do y'all think? That good? Sexy? Everybody know what CSX does? I can't think of what the Canadian something. They're a rail company. They're a train company. So CSX Corporation, together with its subsidiaries, provides rail-based freight transportation services. The company offers rail services as well as transports intermodal containers and trailers. Can somebody tell me what intermodal means? It transports chemicals, automotive, agricultural, and food products. All right, so basically CSX, y'all know what CSX does. They put stuff on their train and they deliver it to major train yards. And then from the train yards, usually the trucks come and the trucks deliver it to different places. Like I said, they transport oil, grains, all kinds of things. The trains are actually a key component to the success of the United States. Now, CSX is a $57 billion company, folks. $57 billion. And it pays a dividend, 1.47%. So you get $1.04 every year that you own the stock. So when you spread it out over 4 quarters, that $1.04 is probably somewhere like 26 cents, 27 cents, somewhere around there. All right. Next destination, let's look at the books. Let's look at the money. So CSX made almost $12 billion last year. And they had net income of about $3 billion. Not bad. Definitely a capital intensive company, but not bad. It's better than what I thought it would be. All right, but what the money looking like? Where the cash at? Where's the cash at? Now CSX. Okay, I'm looking at this wrong. CSX at the end of December only had $1.9 billion, almost $2 billion in cash. All right, so as of last quarter, they have about $3.8 billion in cash. So that's looking up. Oops. I looked at the wrong thing, y'all. I'm sorry. They had 2.4 billion in cash. 2.4 billion in cash. Almost 2.5 billion in cash at the end of March. So, I mean, for the record, I don't think CSX is going anywhere. Right? Again, it's tied into the heartland of the country. Again, things are slowing down, but you're still going to need major freight transported. You're going to need major freight transported. So let's look at the chart real quick. Let's look at the price. Let's get to that. All right, so again, it got hit pretty bad. It got hit pretty bad in that March time frame. All right, it hit a low of about $48. Then it jumped up to $74. So it's chugging right along. It's chugging right along. And it looks like, let's see. It's still an upward trend. So it's still in a bull market, so to speak. So yeah, if you're thinking about investing in CSX, I think it's worthy to be put on your watch list to watch it and do your homework on it, to see if it has any problems, any problems on the horizon, to see what it's looking like. So yes, I don't have a problem with it. Don't have a problem with it at all. I'm trying to find the question now. Where'd the question go? Oh, there it is. All right. So Ms. Carroll asks, what good is it to read a perspective if the market can change at any given unexpected life event? Reading the perspectives will give you more information about the ETF, mutual fund, or stock that you're looking at. Yes, it can change, but it'll give you a better understanding of what's going on with it, what kind of risk you're looking at. You really see prospectuses with ETFs and mutual funds. So you can kind of glance through. They tend to be long. They tend to be very boring. They're not written in the most Shakespearean flair, so to speak. So I get it. I get that you would find it boring. Don Johnson, I own WM in my dividend portfolio, but I am also a long-term buy and hold investor. So Don says he wants to buy it, he wants to hold it, and he just wants to sit back and get his money. All right, Rachelle, what were you saying yes to? I be answering a lot of questions. Okay, Don says, I feel like they're a staple of the community and they are only and they are the only real brands in that sector. Don, I am assuming you're talking about waste management. Is that correct? Okay. Rachel said understood. Okay, perfect. Walter Paul Briannon, I'm sorry. I hope I'm saying your name right. They might have lost a lot of customers. I have a feeling he's speaking about Jamia, but I'm not sure. Let me know what you're talking about, Paul, if you're still with us. Okay. All right. Tay Digital says, thank you. No, thanks for asking. And you're listening. Gotcha. Ace Boogie. I got a whole internet. I got a whole YouTube video on that. So Ace Boogie says, starting a real estate business, should I start an LLC or a C Corp? Well, I don't know why you even want or need an LLC or a C Corp. You may not need anything. I don't know what area of real estate you're going to be working in. Are you going to be a wholesaler? Are you going to be a long-term, buying a whole with rentals? Are you flipping? Are you developing? It really depends. I know everybody out here is talking about you need an LLC, you need a C Corp, you need an S Corp. It's the furthest thing from the truth. There's a lot of people out here just trying to sell you shit. Sorry to tell you that. They're just trying to sell you something. A lot of people don't need any of those things. They start off with what's considered being a sole proprietor. Now, I'm not saying you don't need it. I don't know your situation, but I know I've run into a lot of people because I have a lot of real estate clients. I've managed real estate. I'm very, very familiar and comfortable with real estate. So, I know a lot of people get sold a bill of goods because many times people are looking to sell them a package to incorporate themselves, organize themselves as an LLC. Listen, I'll tell you a quick story. I've had a couple of clients this year that are doing some flips. And they were doing some flips with a partner. This is about 3 people, 3 different separate parties. And they're doing flips with a partner. And they formed an LLC. And guess what? They didn't know where their stuff was due. So they wound up getting a major penalty because they had a multi-member LLC, which is a partnership for all intents and purposes. And they got a major fine. And most of them don't like their partners anyway. I had another client who has a partner, kind of a silent partner. Thought his tax guy did all the paperwork to formulate his corporation, and he didn't. Many days, many years behind it filing. So listen, I'd say all that to say, if you're going to incorporate or you're going to get an LLC, make sure you understand when everything is due, because the IRS ain't playing right now, right? They just gave out all that stimulus money, and the Treasury is going to need some of that back. And so they're going to be looking to increase fines and enforce people that are tax delinquent. Okay, so Chef Larry says, well, hold on, Chef Larry. So Ace Boogie, if you can give me a little bit more direction or a little bit more specific question, I can definitely answer for you. All right, so Chef Larry, you asked me about stocks for your grandchildren. Sorry, I forgot. We got kicked off of IG. So I was telling you about the story of Kim Avant Bab. I interviewed. She's on my YouTube channel. She bought Nike stock for her granddaughter for her birthday. So listen, if you want to teach your children about investing, if you want to increase or have a chance of creating generational wealth, stop buying y'all kids dumb stuff for the holidays. Stop buying y'all kids dumb stuff for birthdays. Listen, I ain't trying to offend nobody, right? So yeah, you can buy some stuff, right? But buy them some stock. Buy them something that once they're done with playing with the toys and they get done with that toy after like a week, if there's any parents in here, let me know. Y'all say parent, put parent in the chat. But so y'all know how it goes after the holidays. They get a toy, they play with it. It's a hit or miss. Some toys they like for life. Some toys is only there for a couple of days, maybe a week or two. So buy them some stock. Let them know. buy them a share of McDonald's if you go to McDonald's a lot. Right, Chef Larry? I know you are not the McDonald's type because you are serious about your food and your presentations and the healthiness of the food, the nutritional value of the food. A lot of kids like Nike, or a lot of kids run or work out. So if they run, work out, and they're athletic and they like Nike, start with Nike. With your children, I would say buy what they like. All right. If they have an iPhone or iPad, buy them a share of Apple. If they like Xbox, buy them a share of Microsoft. How you doing, Joanne? I don't know how to say your name. The Road Toodle. The Road Toodle. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. A Soul Kitten, how are you? Jay Cherie Moore, how are you? Jay Cherie, I've been rocking your mask. I've been getting compliments. I think this lady hit on me once because I had on that fly mask. Yeah, so no, I'm not saying no toys for Christmas, right? But you know, y'all know how much money be under that tree. Y'all know what be going on. Y'all know a lot of times y'all spend money that y'all need to spend. And I'm just saying, listen, a lot of times those toys are going to go to waste. Get them something they'll appreciate. Because remember, we're not raising children. We're raising adults. All right. So once they become an adult, they're going to appreciate their stock. All right, we'll do. So you trying to pimp me out, Jay Sharia Moore, you trying to pimp me out. That's cool. I will definitely give the Etsy link. All right, we got a question from YouTube. Ms. Carol asks, kind of off topic, but do people really make money private labeling items using Alibaba? I can't answer that question. What I can answer, because I don't know. I'm sure they do. What I can say, though, is I know people find vendors on Alibaba and they resell the stuff that they find on Alibaba. I have a couple clients that do that. So it's easy to do. What does replicate the market mean in simple terms? Replicate the market means to just do what the market's doing, to move up when the market moves up, or move down when the market moves down. Sounds like somebody's been doing some studying. But what you listening to, what you reading? Go on, share with us. Rachelle Donald says, thank you for that. My pleasure. My pleasure. I got to get to these comments a little faster. So Carol Allen says, repeat, you pay more taxes on stock you hold for a year or less or more. I'm sorry, I looked away from them. Okay, so I was talking about the two tiers of taxation when it comes to stocks, right? You have long-term stocks, you have short-term stocks. Or excuse me, let me back it up. You have long-term gains or losses, right? A long-term gain or a short-term gain and loss. So a long-term gain or loss is from a stock that you've held longer than a year. A short-term gain or loss is from a stock that you've held for less than a year. And the short-term gain or loss usually gets taxed at a higher rate than the long-term gain. Connect Consulting, how are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. Derek C. Wright, how are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. Did I see any more questions over there on IG? All right, so Miss Edith, what are you talking about? You said, thank you. I received the email or the call. Never listens. Hopefully I can next time. Are you talking about earnings calls? Miss Carol says she has to start taking notes during your show. Miss Carol, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to start breaking these shows down and putting them up on my YouTube and my Facebook. And so they'll be in smaller chunks. And so then you don't have, because I know nobody's going to go through and re-listen to a whole 2-hour show. Ain't nobody got time for that. Is there a cap of the amount paid through dividends? No, I've never heard of a cap, but usually your bigger companies, your more stable companies are paying anything. They're not usually going above 5% typically. And then when it is above 5%, you want to be very, very careful that the company is stable, because a lot of times companies will pay an extra dividend to kind of make themselves look sexy, but or their stock prices drop so much that the dividend becomes a bit more sexy or a bit more attractive. Kurt Juminkin, how are you? My brother Tony Steiner, how are you? Has Disney dropped enough to buy or wait longer? It all depends on your time horizon. I think, again, let's start where we starting at, everybody. We're gonna start on over with Yahoo, right? So let's go to Yahoo real quick and let's pull up Disney. Let's talk about Disney real fast, because I am hungry. I've not had any dinner. I need some vittles. All right, so let's talk about Disney. Now, Disney just opened the parks in Shanghai. They are due to open the parks in the United States in July. So Disney today, let's make sure everybody can see this. All right, cool. So Disney today closed at $122.18. It was up 2.89% on the day. It gained $3.43. So that's why I closed at 122. Disney is a 220, almost $221 billion company again. $221 billion company with a B. And it does not pay a dividend, oddly enough. All right. Next step, we want to go look at profile. We want to see what Disney's all about. A lot of us already know what Disney's all about, but let's look at it either way. All right. The Walt Disney Company, with the subsidiaries, operates an entertainment company worldwide. The company's media network segments operates domestic cable networks. Lost my place. Domestic television stations. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Under the Disney, so they own Disney, ESPN, Freeform, FX, National Geographic, and the television broadcast network under the ABC. So they own ABC, Disney, ESPN, Freeform, FX, and National Geographic. I actually love FX. I'm a bit of a nerd. I love sci-fi. Don't tell anybody I said that though. Also, they have the Disneyland Resorts in California, Disneyland Paris, Hong Kong Disneyland Resorts, Shanghai Disney Resort, Disney Cruise, Disney Vacation Club, National Geographic Expeditions, Adventures by Disney, Alina, I don't even know what that is, Tokyo Disney, and they also own, they brought 21st Century Fox, all the Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel, Lucasfilms, Pixar, Fox Searchlight, Blue Sky. So Disney owns like everything. And that's a big reason why Disney Plus has like 50 million people already. And they just launched in, when did Disney Plus just launched? It wasn't that long ago. Give me 1 second. I think it was a couple months ago. Disney Plus. In November. Disney Plus in November. So they got 50 million subscribers already. Now, in comparison, Netflix has like over 180 million subscribers. I want to say Disney Plus is either $4.99 or $6.99. Netflix is like either $13 or $14.99. I forget. All right, so last year Disney made 78 billion. It's mind-boggling. And they had profit of approximately about $5. Now remember, the profit is when everybody's been paid. All the bills have been paid. So that's what they put in their pocket. And even though Disney is suffering a little bit from COVID, Disney's going to be around for quite some time, in my opinion. So let's look at the chart real quick for all my folks over on YouTube and Facebook. Let's pull up Disney. And Disney is kicking butt. It had a little dip in March, February, March, dropped to 100, dropped to 90. Whoa. Disney dropped to $79. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but during that time when I saw the market falling, I was telling everybody now's the time to buy stocks. Everything's on sale. So from $79 to now, it is $120. I just told y'all the price. And Disney's kind of been in a sideways pattern for quite some time. But again, I wouldn't bet against Disney right now. And it's funny because I just heard a report, like everybody in the United States is opening. I told you I need to get a new chair. This chair's driving me crazy. Everybody is opening up. SeaWorld, Legoland is opening up in June, actually right about now. And Disney's waiting. So I think Disney's waiting because they just want to see what happens. But again, I think Disney is going to be okay. So I wouldn't try to time Disney, right? Let's not get into timing the market, folks. If you like the stock, buy the stock. Remember, if you like the stock, buy the stock. I wouldn't try to get into timing. Yes, I know a lot of us are greedy. We're trying to get the best bang for our buck. But the stock market doesn't really work like that, especially for my beginners who are in here. If you like it, buy it, and then rock out. Like I said, buy what you love. Buy what you love. So, Anthony, I hope that answered your question. If not, let me know. Let me know. Shipping containers, yes. On CSX, shipping containers, yes. Latrice Abina says how. I'm not sure what you're asking how to. Okay. Worried about stocks for my son. His birthday is Friday. I would tell you to buy stocks. You can buy him a gift certificate to, hold on, let me pull this up. I'm not being paid for this. You ask, and I try my best to deliver. So let's check this out. Give me 1 second. Un momento. E. Blickneck, how are you? How are you? Thank you for joining us. So this is a company called Stockpile, right? One of the things you can do is you can go over to their website, stockpile.com. Again, I don't get any affiliate. I'm not paid by them. I'm just trying to answer the question. But they have gift cards, right? And I buy these for my kids. And you can buy them a gift card and you can pick the amount. You can buy $10, $25, $50, whatever it may be. And you can buy them some stock. You can pick it out for them. You might even be able to, can you do $15? It looks like you can do $15. So, and then they can buy $15 worth of stock. They just make you set up. They make you set up an account there, a brokerage account, custodial account for your child. So you should be good to go. And you can do everything online. And you can buy, you can print out the gift card right there and you'll be good to go because you said his birthday is on Friday. He'll be 15. So perfect. I am glad you're taking my advice. Let's stop buying these kids these frivolous things and buying some stock. What stock were you planning on buying them, Latrice? I'm curious to know. All right, Tiffany Thompson says, both my kids' birthdays are coming in July and August. We'll make them both pick a stocks as a gift. Excellent. Miss Edith, the name of the company to buy stocks is called Stockpile. Stockpile. So Tiffany, let me know how you make out with that. I'm really curious. I'm really curious. I'm also curious to see what your children say when they say, "I'm gonna get you some stock." Now, here's something I've told this story before. I can't think of his name. I cannot think of his name. I can see his face. I cannot think of his name. John Rogers. So John Rogers, founder of Ariel Investments, and you'll probably know him because Melody Hobson is also the co-CEO of that. So John Rogers told the story about how his father got him interested in the stock market. And what his dad did was he brought John Rogers dividend stocks, and he actually gave John the dividend stocks. I saw that on a YouTube video a while ago with John being interviewed. John's like one of my heroes. He's a great investor, and he also formed his own company. So definitely one of my heroes. A lot of people don't talk about him though, in the mainstream. But good question, Ms. Edith. But his dad let him, going back to John Rogers, his dad let him keep the dividends. And him getting this money every quarter built fascination in him. And so when we're doing this, I think it's a great lesson. We have to build fascination in our children and help them explore and become curious about things that we know are positive and we know that will help them later on down the road. And so maybe buy them something that pays a dividend and that they use. So let me know how you make out with that, Latrice and Tiffany. Thank you for those questions. I appreciate them. All right, so Ms. Edith said, so should we change our language, not buying stocks, buying a company? Yes, that's something Warren Buffett says that I definitely agree with. Instead of saying that we're buying stocks, we're buying companies. Because everybody kind of gets hyped on the stock, but then they forget about you're actually buying a company. And is it a good company or not? Hey, Remy, you're back. Thanks for joining us. If you are in the DMV area, check out Remy. He is a real estate agent down there killing it. He's selling everybody's house down there. So, again, think about if you are buying a stock or a business. It's better to think about it as your business. If you're a long-term investor, it's better to think about the business. How many cans of Coca-Cola are sold every day? If you like Coke, you should know that. You should also know Coke is a very dominant brand. How much is Apple doing? How much is, the Home Depot is doing? Again, we have over 40 million people that are unemployed. Not a lot of people are going to be looking to move right now, right? But they're going to be looking to refurnish their homes or fix up their homes or spruce up their homes. So more than likely, they're going to go to Home Depot or maybe Lowe's to buy the products to fix them up. I know I've been in Lowe's like a champ lately, or Home Depot like a champ lately. No problem, Ace Boogie, I'm still here. But you're saying I'm looking to own a couple of properties, but while doing that, I wanted to make a legitimate business out of it. Was wondering how it should structure. So I'm going to say this. If you're just now starting and you're not sure, I would probably recommend you buy your properties personally because you're going to get the best financing deal by owning it personally. There is still some money out there, but as the economy is getting more rocky, your lender's money is going to dry up. And so they're not going to be as keen to lend to people who are trying to rent with no track record. I'm not sure if you have a track record or not, but just going off your question, I'm not sure if you have a track record. It doesn't seem like you have a track record. So I would say buy it under your personal name. Now we're buying it under your personal name, right? Because the reason why you want to buy properties under an LLC or some type of corporation is for liability protection or legal protections under the law. I'm not a lawyer. I guess I play one sometimes on social media, but not really. All right, don't tell any of my lawyer friends I said that. They might get mad at me and jump me. But you want the liability protections under the law. However, you can kind of quantify or see what kind of liability you're going to have. All right. I advise, and I know many other lawyers who give the same advice. They tell people to get a liability policy, an umbrella policy if you're just starting off. Because you might find that you don't really like properties that much. Like I was a property manager before, managed about 50 doors. I am not a good property manager. Well, I'll take that back. I am a good property manager because I know how to get the repairs done and get them done pretty well. Yup, it's Marie. How you doing? However, I've had some issues or some failings or shortcomings when it came time to evict my tenants. And so I don't consider myself a good property manager. I don't know if I had the temperament for it. But again, I would say, buy your first property, buy it under your name. You might be able to get an FHA loan or a conventional loan, something that might be a little bit easy. You might be able to get down payment assistance. There's a lot of programs and grants out there as well. But I hope I answered your question. Listen, you can always hit me up, DM me. Maybe we can hop on a call and I can give you a little bit more help. I usually do free 15-minute consultations, a free 15-minute consultation for things like that. But listen, folks, we are hitting the 2-hour mark, and I have not eaten, and it is almost 10 o'clock. I got to get some rest because I got a bunch of client work I got to get back to in the morning and the AM. Listen, I appreciate everybody that has joined me tonight. Remember, we'll be back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. But guess what? I'll be back on Saturday as well doing our Wealthy Conversations at noon. All right. We're continuing on with the e-commerce theme to help people make money on e-commerce platforms while we are all in this time of COVID. So again, thank you for joining the Financial Rebel Show. Share it with somebody. Let somebody know that there's outlets for people to help them learn about money, and you ain't even got to pay for it. All right. It's free. That magic word. So I will see you all next week for Wealthy Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Same Rebel time, same Rebel channel. Again, thank you, everybody. Have a great night. All right.